Oh, what a ball game. Joel Holmes trying for the field goal. Watch his reaction. He knows it's short. Look at Oswald, 87. So it came down to the final attempt by Joel Holmes on a long 47-yard attempt that was short, and there's Jim Richardson. He's gone both ways tonight. He was out there defensively waving the flag to the crowd for them to lend support. And Mountain View on a gallant drive late in the game comes up short. One snap and this one will be over, and the fans will be all over the field. That's it. It's over. Mesa High, Central Region champions for 1986. You want to talk about a turnaround. This team was 1-9 a year ago. Look at their record this year, 8-1. They're 7-0 in league play. And there's Jess Parker to congratulate Jim Rattay. That's sportsmanship at its best right there. Two great coaches, Rattay, who's done a job with this Mesa program, and Jess Parker. Jess knows what Rattay feels like, believe me. He's been in that position many times before. And both teams lining up to congratulate each other. What a football game here tonight at Toro Stadium. Mesa beats Mountain View. Final score 12-11. Back to hear from the winning coach in a moment.
No matter how
Tonight at Toro Stadium, there's your final score. The Mesa Jackrabbits recovering a fumble in the fourth quarter and moving it in for the touchdown, defeats Mountain View by a score of 12-11. Mesa get on the scoreboard first as they got a big 44-yard pass completion from Jim Richardson to Dennis Milius to set up the touchdown inside the 10, and then Richardson found Sean Griffin in the corner of the end zone on a 9-yard scoring strike. The point was missed and it was 6-0 Mesa. Then a safety on the part of Mountain View brought the score to 6-2. Mountain View scored a touchdown finally to move ahead on a drive when Mountain View's Trevor Kavanaugh snuck it over from a yard out. The point was good, and it was 9-6 in favor of Mountain View. Another safety when Tom Duncan was standing in his end zone to punt the football away. It was over his head. It was 11-6 in favor of Mountain View. And then, not until the fourth quarter, when a fumble on Mountain View resulted in the final touchdown, Mesa recovered, moved 23 yards, and finally Shane McCord received a touchdown pass from Richardson for the winning points, 12-11. Got to be a happy coach, Jim Rattay. He comes back from a 1-9 record a year ago. He is 8-1 now, sitting on top of the world. Let's go down to Doug Gerlach with Jim Rattay.
We're down here with Jim Rattay and his defensive coordinator, Salty Richardson, who's the father of the quarterback of this Victoria Mesa Jackrabbit bunch. Jim, congratulations. It was a hard-fought struggle, and to be honest with you, they really seemed to control the line of scrimmage through most of the game. Don't you agree?
Well, we had so many adversities that came our way, so many penalties. It seemed we always seemed to either have bad field position or long yardage situations because of, a penalty or whatever. So we really didn't feel like we could just run the ball up the middle that much. We had to mix it up and throw the ball a little bit more. And, and our kids came through.
You had two scoring drives tonight. One, a very impressive drive in the first half, 67 yards. Then the lights went out. And then you came back, and it seemed like it was a different football game for a long time. You couldn't get anything going.
I know.
Did that take something out of you, or did it
I think going ahead of Mountain View at their field blew the lights up.
Looking back on it, at the start of the year, in all honesty, did you think after Game 9 of the season you'd be undefeated in the league and the champion?
Well, no, but that's the beauty of kids, I mean, that really is. We have a great coaching staff, and we've just taken one game at a time, and really that's all we could have done. We felt good about winning the first game that we won. That was, tied with the year before, and then we won two, and we're like, people were celebrating at Mesa High. Hey, you doubled last year. And all of a sudden we're going, well, that ain't so good. Let's see what we can do for an encore.
Let me ask your defensive coach a question. Salty, congratulations on your ball club. They threw a lot at you, and their ground game seemed to be particularly effective tonight. Is that what bothered you the most coming into the ball game?
Yeah, we knew they were going to be a tough running team, but then we also knew that if they were going to counter what they've done in the past, they're going to have to come out and throw against it. The thing that we've got is we've got us a great defensive team, and they always come back in the second half after we made our halftime adjustments and straighten them out. It's been several times that we've come back and shut the teams out in the second half, and they knew they had to do that. If we shut them out the second half, we're going to win the football game. We realized that, and that's what we decided to do.
Was there any particular adjustment you made at halftime that was particularly significant tonight?
No. Well, the one main thing is we decided we were going to put more pressure on that quarterback, and that's what we did. We started blitzing a lot more in the second half than we did the first half, and just put the pressure on the kids.
Jim, you know as well as anybody, when you win a close ball game, you're going to look at the films and see half a dozen plays tomorrow that if they had gone the other way could have meant the difference in the ball game. But one particularly important play, you're looking at 4th and about 11 and if you're a field goal team on the field, and then there's an offside penalty to give you 4th and 6, and you decided to go for it. Why weren't you going for it on 4th and 11, and what caused you to change your mind?
Well, because Salty said 2 field goals to win it too. So that, you know, we had the little longer yard situation where we kick a field goal and then, you know, look for a field goal later on down the road. But then when we got a little bit closer, we said, hey, let's go for it, and we ended up getting it.
Looking ahead now to the playoffs, you have the first couple of ball games at home. Is your team where you want it to be? It probably is, or is there still still things that you want?
I don't want them up there in Cloud 9. You know, it's going to be hard to bring them down.
Yeah.
I wish we could, you know, have some kind of a game up in the clouds somewhere. We'd be all right.
Okay. One last question. We saw towards the end of the ball game, team was in the huddle back near its own goal line, and it looked like Jim was holding up a photograph. Jim Richardson was holding up something in the huddle. What was it?
Well, that's one of the little secrets that you know that we have with our little team. Well, something special that our kids did to get themselves together and do something great. And he made a nice pass there when we were back in our end zone and pulled us out of there. We got out of the hole, and that saved us.
Okay. Jim Salty, congratulations. Good luck next weekend in the playoffs.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, ASPN.
12-11. The Jackrabbits are Central Division champions. George, let's go back to you.
Well, the last time that Mesa won a league championship was in 1982. However, that was when there was an A and B league in the Central region. Now it's just one region combined. And Mesa sitting on top of the heap as they head to their final game of the season next week. There you see the final statistics on the football game. Look at the yards rushing for Mesa. They came in with 2 great runners in Solder and Steffen. They were held to 26 yards by a tough Toro defense, but Jim Richardson went 9 for 19 for 160 yards through the air. The ground game of the Toros went very well, 138 yards rushing, and the time of possession pretty close, only about a 3-minute difference. Look at the turnovers. 2 of them, that last one, very important. The fumble by Mountain View inside their own 25 gave Mesa the ball. They cashed it in for the game-winning touchdown, and they win it by a